Hey there everyone, Luke here, and yeah, just like the Dr. Stone review, did a little tribute for both girls up there, Maisie and Poppy, because as you know from the Dr. Stone review I did last week, Maisie passed away a couple of weeks ago. Still recovering, but we're a lot more cheerful now, but she'll always be missed. And that intro in the beginning that I did there, I really wanted to include the Whitney Houston song I will always love you," but sadly can't do that because of copyright infringement. So yeah, that's why you had like it all inside. But the song would have been on there had I been allowed to use it. But anyway, gotta get back to business now. We've had the mourning period. She'll be sadly missed, as will Poppy, but they'll always be here in spirit, watching over me. And that makes me wonder as well, like how long Goliath has got in the world in the Mission Yozakura family series. Now, I don't want Goliath to die, but at the same time, how old is that dog? I guess there's some sort of like experiments done with Nano. But anyway, without further ado, we'll dive right into the chapter. Alright, so this will be chapter 176 titled Uncle Kiricho versus Papatayo. This should be like Uncle Kiricho versus Papatayo, the second coming, because this is like what the 10 billionth battle they've probably fought in the series. We've probably had a lot of off-screen battles between the two of them, and just makes me wonder about that. But anyway, the chapter picks up immediately from the last one where we went for the break, where we have Tao just being like, really, like, I knew this was gonna come. Okay, fine. Let's just get it over with. I know I'm about to die, but even though he like knows it's coming, it's like really dread it, because this is Kiricho. Tao knows exactly what he's done, and he knows, like, and he probably has been dreading this moment for 5 years, which is like, when I next meet Creature, he's probably going to want to kill me for what I've done. Which in any normal circumstances, yeah, Tao will be congratulated by the brother. But no, Creature is not normal in any way. So it's like, yeah, I know you're married, and technically I can't do anything to you, but at the same time, that's not going to stop me from doing something to you, man. And Tao's just like, okay, no, wait. You haven't done anything wrong. There's no reason to feel guilty about it. No need for me to like, Tao, don't try to rationalise it. Like I said, this is Kiricho you're talking about, and Kiricho is just like, okay, I am tired of your BS now, Tao. Just get yourself in here already. And he's just like, okay, I'm sorry. As he brings himself into him, and I just love this. Like, despite the fact Tao's been playing this like super badass daddy for the past few chapters, when it comes to being Kiricho, he goes back to his pre-time skip goofy self of just being like, I'm sorry, Kiricho. And Kiricho's like, oh, you've grown up in a few years since I last saw you, Tao. I have to look up at you now. So wait, is Tao actually taller than Kiricho? Based on that one line, it seems like Tao is actually taller than Kiricho. It's like, wow, never really considered that. Like, we're gonna have to look into the measurements of the characters, which is like, how tall is Tao? If Kiricho's just like, I have to look up at you now, Tao. Now that you've grown up a bit, you're actually taller than me. But anyway, as Kiricho is doing his usual shtick with Tao, Mutsumi is just being like, yeah, the kids don't need to see this Kiricho, and Kiricho's just like, oh, don't worry, Mutsumi, I've changed in these last 5 years. Yeah, Kiricho did fool me when I first read the shot. He did fool me for like about 5 seconds before I like, no, he's never gonna change when it comes to Tao. And Tao's just like, what? Seriously, you have changed, and yet I'm still in this position as when we were back then. However, Kiricho carries on and says, oh, remember when you said you were little, your dream was to have fun and happy family like mum did. Then then there was what we talked about that evening before I left, which we get into a flashback with Koichiro and Mutsumi talking about what he's actually just reiterated to Mutsumi, where he says, "But I can't." Where it's Mutsumi going, "But I can't afford to dream right now. So wait, I'll be patient until peace returns." And Koichiro's just like, "Oh, don't be. Isn't that right, Mutsumi? Peace isn't something you'll wait for." Okay, so it's not Mutsumi saying that waiting for peace to return. It's actually Koichiro, and he's saying like, "Oh, don't you understand, Mutsumi? Peace isn't something you no. Mutsumi was the one who was wanting peace, and Koichiro is carrying it by saying like, "No, peace is something that you wait for. It's something that you go after," which is very, very, very true in any circumstance. Like, if you want to have peace, you don't sit there twiddling your thumbs, going do, hoping that it all work out. No, you have to go out and make it like, okay, peace isn't going to come, we're going to make it come, and then after all of that, we'll have peace restored to our family. Because the thing that they really have to take into consideration now is Asa and potentially the Zodiacs. They could still be coming. We just don't know about that. Although, based on a tweet that I saw, because it said that it's advertising like the post time skip as like a new series. Like one of the Twitter pages on Mission Yozakura family did mention this. They said like, the successful popularity of the new series, and it seems to be talking about Mission Yozakura family. A lot of people are debating like, what did that actually mean? And people are thinking like, oh, it's probably going to be like a Dragon Ball C type of series. Like I guess we're in the Mission Yozakura C era of the series, which means we're about like the time skip was pretty much the halfway point. So so it might actually go on for longer than we're all anticipating. We never know, because there has to be more villains than just Asa out there. Like, seriously, there has to be more like that. And we haven't even gotten to the siblings yet. Now, the end of this chapter, it does clarify that, no, the siblings are coming, but at the same time, we spent quite a few chapters of reintroducing Koichiro, and next and I feel like we're going to go in order, because we have Koichiro and Futaba shows up at the end of the chapter, so I feel like we're going to have, like, we've had 3 chapters reintroducing Koichiro, we're going to have 3 chapters reintroducing Futaba, and so on and so forth. So probably going to be in this like sibling reunion arc for a little bit longer, which, hey, I'm all for, because it gives a chance for Alpha and Hiafumi to actually, okay, not all of them are like Koichiro, and see who they're going to gravitate more towards. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, he carries on and says, but things are only going to get more dangerous. That's why you have us. Don't worry. Besides, take a minute and think about our family history. Every other minute, someone's suffering, hurt, or dying. Do you really think our family will ever know true peace? That is actually a good point, which means that the only way that they're going to know true peace is if they have to get rid of the status as like a really super powered house spy family. That's the only way they're going to get out of this situation. This is where we have Mutsumi and Tayo in the present going like, sad but distressingly true, which is true. Like, there is no way this family has known true peace because of all the trauma and all the hassle that they've had to go with, not just in the current time, but way back in the past with Asa and Tsubumi, and when Tsubumi was a child. Which, by the way, hoping to do a tier list on the worst parents, or do a discussion on the worst parents. Like, is Asa worse than Shao Tucker? Like, when you're talking about a character that is worse than Shao Tucker, I feel like you have to do a discussion on that front. Koichiro carries on and says that, oh, it's a brother's duty to give his sister the push she needs. That's what the push she needs. That's why I signed a witness as witness on your marriage certificate and recommended a good midwife to you, which makes sense. Like, somebody had, like, obviously Rin and Momo couldn't do like, oh no, I'm a witness to your marriage. This is an official marriage right now. So somebody had to do it, and Koichiro was the one to do it, which probably, you could just imagine like the thought process of him going through that, just being like, I can't stop it, but at the same time I want to stop it. Why did it have to be Tayo? Why couldn't it be like, you could just imagine, I want there to just be like just one whole chapter of just Koricho's thought process of him just actually having to sign the document of just being like, yeah, I recognise the marriage. I'm the one who's going to recognise the marriage of Mutsumi and Tayo, and officially welcome Tayo as a member of the Yozakura family, and just see like just the life drain out of his eye. Like that would be so hilarious. That like just the hilarious possibilities of just Koricho being like, Tayo, when I get my hands on him, he's gonna pay, which of course he is in a few minutes. And now the midwife, who is that? Like, if it's not Ayaka, or because I initially thought it was Ryu as the midwife, which, yeah, you can imagine Ryu as the midwife, but at the same time, like, who is that? Like, that is someone I want to meet now. Now that we know that they have a midwife, like, who was it? Like, what was their story? How did they get connected back with Koricho? Like, that is someone that I really want to meet right now and find out exactly what their whole deal is, because they're like this super buff, muscular person that can really knock your lights out, and you're just like, who is this guy? Like, is it Rio? No, it can't be Rio, but like, who is it? Like, seriously, if someone can tell me who this midwife is, that'll be great. But anyway, continuing on, Koricho says like, oh, and because of your marriage, it allowed me to meet these two precious treasures. What greater happiness could I ask for? Oh, I don't know. Probably the happiness of just playing like, okay, Tayo's out of the picture. I can now be sort of like the benefactor for my sister, who's probably going to hate me for the rest of her life because I knocked off her husband, which I shouldn't have done because of the ironclad rule of our family, no killing family members, which Koricho, like, seriously, if this had actually happened, where if he actually did kill Tayo in this chapter, it's like, he would have been out of the family in a split second because of that ironclad rule, and deep down he knows it, but at the same time it's like, Koricho, are you honestly thinking about the logistics about what you're about to do? Or are you just thinking like, no, it's Tayo. No, I don't have to think about logistics. He goes on and says, it's me, Tayo, congratulations. I wish you the best. And I just love like just the look that that Tayo and Mutsumi give Koricho. It's just like, oh, okay, he has changed. That's nice. Now, can you please get me down for me? And Koricho's like, Tayo, no can do. You've done your duty as a father up to this point, which is quite admirable, but your job's done, so now you're going to be shark food for this Leviathan shark, which, okay, yeah, he's a big boy. He is a very big boy, a big shark, which just encompasses the entire, not like, probably like half the floor of Koricho's office, whereas Koricho's standing there and Tayo, and they're just standing in the shark's mouth as the shark's just like gnawing on the glass, trying to get to Tayo, and Tayo's just like, oh my god, there's a shark. Koricho hasn't changed at all in the past 5 years. He's still the same Koricho as before. And we have Alpha basically giving the same reaction that Tayo is giving right now. Just like, I don't know any species of shark that can be that big, and I am quite scared right now. I think shark is not going to be my favourite animal from now on. That's probably what Alpha's going through his head as and Mutsumi and Hiafumi are just like numb to this. Just like Hiafumi's just like, oh, what a big boy this is. And Leviathan, they look as healthy as I've always seen, as Koricho goes on and says, yes, Leviathan, Tio Academy's greatest guardian, they've protected the water's secrets since the school was found. We fought for many years while I was a student here until we became friends. You have 0% chance of beating them. So, oh my god, Koricho versus this Leviathan shark. Isn't that a flashback people want to see? Like, seriously, Koricho battling a shark. But at the same time, this does make sense why this is a top secret school. Not just for the fact that it's underwater, but the fact that it's guarded by probably about 2 or 3 of these Leviathan sharks. So even if people were to find it, yeah, they'd be dead in an instant. And of course, Koricho wastes no time by saying to the shark that it's your snack. Here's your snack. And Tayo's like, no! I'm not a snack, I'm not a snack. You've just said you changed, but you're contradicting yourself, Koricho. And Koricho goes on and says, oh, no, of course, the marriage to the children, I congratulate Musume on them most sincerely. However, I have cursed you repeatedly every day for the last 5 years, every second, and Tayo's just like, oh no, you haven't changed at all. Yeah, he hasn't changed in his hatred for you, Tayo. But again, like I said, I just want to hear like just the amount of profanity going on in Koricho's mind of just like, and he's had kids. He's drank my sister. He's done it with my sister. That Tayo. Oh, just you wait until I meet you again, Tayo. Things are not going to be the same. Like that's probably what's been going through Koricho's mind all this time. And he goes on, and Koricho says, "Oh, be grateful that I'm not making the children watch their uncle murder their father directly. Now die." And Tayo's just like, I'd rather you do it directly. But again, like I said, even if Koricho went through with this plan, he'd be kicked out of the family for breaking the #1 ironclad rule of no murder within family members. And Mitsubi's just like, oh my god, Koricho, can't you just let this go? That's probably what's going through her mind, but at the same time she's probably like, no, it's Koricho, that's just impossible. And Hiafumi not understanding like the dynamic between Tayo and Koricho. It's just like, we gotta see Papa, Mama. And Mitsubi's just like, oh no, he's absolutely fine, don't worry about it. First and foremost, those two are. But before Mutsumi can even go on and explain it, everyone just stops when they see Alpha is actually crying and actually thinking that his uncle is about to murder his father. It's like, Papa, please don't die. And that is the worst thing that Koricho could have asked for, because the second that, because he should have he really should have like, Koricho is smart, and he should have been smart enough to realise, like, if I do this to Tayo, there's a chance that the kids will start crying, and I know that my niece is basically a brocon, just like I'm a ciscon, so there's a chance that my niece will start hating me if I do this to her father. Like, Koricho should have realised that right away. And yeah, the worst thing has probably happened to him right now, where Hiafumi, like, obviously not understanding that it's just a joke. It's partly a joke, mostly a joke, but there's at the same time there's a tad bit serious in it. But most of the time it's a joke. But Hiafumi doesn't know that, and the second she sees Alpha crying, she's just like the blank death glare expression of just like, who has made my brother cry right now? And Alpha's just like, oh no, Papa's gonna go away, it's too scary. And just see him going through all the trauma that might actually happen if Tayo was ever to die, and say like, oh, there'd be nothing left of him, it wouldn't feel real, then Mama wouldn't be able to accept that he's gone and would fall sick and die early. Traumatizing Hiafumi will fall into a life of crime and get killed as a contingent. Like, just going through like just the spiral effect of just like, Mama will die, Dad will die, then Mama will die, then Hiafumi will die, then I'll go into depression and die as well. And this is where they're all just like, oh my god, he's so smart for his imagination running away with him, because it's just like thinking like just the spiral domino effect of just imagining Tayo dying. And Musume tries to calm the situation, just be like, okay, it's okay, Alpha, don't cry, Koricho doesn't have the guts to kill Tayo, it'll be okay. And Koricho's just like, you're blowing the cover right now, Musume, but of course I have the guts to kill him. But it's like, I can't kill him, but I could do it if I wanted to do him. But Musume's just like, Koricho, you're not fooling anyone. We know you love me so much that you can't make him so much he can't make himself be nice to Papa. So he picks on Papa to try and maintain his self-image. In reality, it's all one big dumb act, and it's just like a sledgehammer just goes to Koricho's heart, just being like, how dare you attack my character like that, Mutsumi? How dare you attack my individuality? And Tayo's just like, yeah, truth as blunt as a sledgehammer right there. And Koricho tries to deny it, but Mutsumi's like, I'll think about it. he could never do anything to make me sad. Occasionally, hazing Papa is the best he can manage. It's like dogs that all bark and no bite, or folks posturating. And Tao's like, mutes me, your brother's hand looks like they're about to slip on the controller here. It's like, he's just like, mutes me, you might want to tone it down here, because he's just, can we just say, like, I'm gonna do it. I'm seriously gonna do it. You don't think I'm gonna do it? I'm gonna do it. But Musume knows her brother and knows, like, yeah, there's no way he would do it. And even if, like I said, even if he did do it, he'd be out of the family. I keep having to remind you, but Koichiro, you should know that one ironclad rule, so don't be tempting fate at all. But Musume goes on and says, I'm sorry you had to see something so scary. He's twisted perfect, so he's easy to misunderstand, but it all comes from a place of love. The love he keeps both Mama and Papa safe for a long time. It's why we are here. It's why who we are today, and why you two are here. And she's just like, okay, Koichiro, you've done enough damage for one day. Put him down right now. And apologise to your niece and nephew. And Koichiro is just like, oh, you're kind of accepts an example to mothers everywhere, Mutsumi. But I'm afraid it's not so simple, because it's Taiyo. I've got to do it. I've got to do this. This is not an act in the very least. And then, as he's saying this, he sees Hiafumi cut him off by demanding to know who it is that made you cry. And let me know about it right now. And she doesn't even need an answer from Alpha. She knows exactly what it is, and you just see like the most abrupt death glare from a 4-year-old kid ever, of just being like the killing aura that just eviscerates from Hiafumi, and just being like, I am going to kill you, Uncle, for doing this, and just blasts right in the direction of Koichiro, as he's just like, this is quite impressive, but there's no way this could challenge me. It seems to not only get to Koichiro, but also Leviathan and Taiyo as well. Like, Leviathan's just like, what is this aura right now coming off of this kid? And yeah, that aura image is going to be the cover for, is going to be the thumbnail for the chapter, because it's just like Hiafumi's power incoming, because Taiyo immediately recognizes this of just being like, holy crap, this murderous intent all from Hiafumi, but she's only 4. Still, this sensation is so familiar. It's like a blooming. So this is potentially Hiafumi's blooming being activated, which makes sense, because all the bloomings, from what we've seen, come from a very emotional place. Well, most of them. It's like we saw how Shinso's blooming was activated because of what was happening with what was happening with Kengo. We saw that, and we saw Koichiro's blooming potentially activating from the emotional connection he had with Momo. But yeah, this is on a completely different scale, because we see this just effect Koichiro, even though he's resisting it really well. You can see it just like being like, oh my god, this is working too much than I actually anticipated. And Taiyo actually notices this when he goes, there's no way this is enough to intimidate Koichiro, and it's like, it's just working like a charm. So whether or not, and it's interesting to know what kind of blooming this actually is, like if it's like a controlling aura blooming or a shadow aura blooming. Like, I'm gonna say the blooming is gonna be called aura, and it's like anything that Hiafumi's aura touches, like, has to obey her command. So it's like a controlling aura. Doesn't matter who it is. Like, if it's intense enough, she can control anyone, which is a scary ability to have, especially for a 4-year-old. Like, can you imagine if this was how her power worked? Like, her aura just eviscerates and nobody can resist it, not even Koichiro, and anything that Hiafumi demands has to be done to the best of the ability. Can you imagine how much of a threat that would be to Asa? But yeah, she goes and says, Uncle, let Papa grow. and let Papa go. And Karicho is just trying to resist as much as possible. It's like, you may be my most precious niece in the world, but I will not allow no one to interfere. And she's just like, let him go. And he just lets her go. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, her aura can basically make anyone do whatever she wants. But yeah, this is where we get Tao apologizes to his kids, like, oh, I'm just sorry, I didn't mean for you guys to see anything that scary. And Karicho tries to make peace with Hiafumi. So hey Hiafumi, I'm sorry for what, and she's like, oh, stay away, Uncle, I hate you. And you just see Karicho's just life just in the same way that Mutsumi, whenever she said she hates him, Hiafumi's doing the exact same thing, and it's just like, yeah, my life's over, I'm out of here. Like, well, that didn't take long. Last chapter, they were just like, oh, we're going to be best buddies, and now she's like, no, I hate you, Uncle, you can stay away from me. And it's just like, my life is over. Yeah, Karicho, you really should have thought about that before deciding to attack Tao in front of his kids. Yeah, you really should have thought about that. But we round out the chapter with Futaba arriving by saying, hey, Leviathan, you're still as big as always. I'm jealous, I'm still just a shorty. Oh, well, odd to see you running so far away. What, did you run into some big demon? Yeah, bigger than you imagine, Futaba. But I like Futaba's like new costume. Like, we don't. It's kind of like a winter style theme. So whether or not she's incorporated some winter attacks into her blooming along with her martial arts techniques, that'll be something that'll be interesting to look at. But she says, oh, it sounds like big trouble brewing. I can feel a headache coming along. Obviously, she knows exactly who it is. It's like, she's probably going through the list like that. Oh, who could it be? And she's probably, no, it's probably Karicho. Probably Karicho giving the biggest headache to Tao. Because she knows her brother, and she knows, like, yeah, as soon as he's going to reunite with him, that's probably what's going to happen. It's just like, oh my god, I'm going to have to deal with this right now. But at the same time, she's going to be absolutely amazed when she finds out, like, what her niece can do at 4 years old. And yeah, I cannot wait for the interactions between Hiafumi, Alpha, and Futaba. But anyway, pretty good chapter. Not really so much as a versus battle like we were expecting, like a face-off. Well, it was a face-off, but it wasn't really a battle. It's more a case of just Karicho being Karicho around Tao, and just seeing the activation of Hiafumi's potential blooming or potential powers, which, like, I'm going to go with the power being called Aura. That's the blooming's called Aura, and basically anything that when she's in, like, the emotional state she is right now around her family, her aura just, like, eviscerates out in any direction, and anything that touches it has to obey her commands, no matter who or what it is. That's the potential idea of the power I'm going to go with. But again, this confirms that Hiafumi is not going to be the head of the 11th generation. There's still some more to come, which I'm going to guess. I'm going to go on the idea, like I've been saying with other people, that the 11th head of the Yozakura is not going to be born until the series ends. Like, it's probably going to be ending on the birth of the 11th 11th head of the Yozakura family. I feel like that would be a perfect way for the series to wrap up, with the next generation head being born, and finding out most of the siblings that they're going to be having, and what their powers are going to be. Like, I feel like if this is like a new series or a new part of the series, we're going to be now focusing on all the siblings of the 11th generation coming into the frame and dealing with their powers, and maybe seeing Tao and Mutsumi grow up into their 40s, having more kids, and getting more new bloomings, more new bloomings rising. Maybe seeing, like, some more time skips as well into the future. That'll be something really to look forward to, unless it's just going to be focusing on Hiafumi and Alpha for the remainder of the series as the current siblings of the 11th generation, and then we just time skip into the future where we have, like, about seven or eight kids of Tao and Mutsumi who all have superpowers, and, like I said, ending with the birth of the 11th head of the Yozakura family. But anyway, guys, what did you think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.